All right, let's get some more immediate reaction on this. Let's get to Tom Forte, Maxim Group Managing Director, Senior Consumer Internet Analyst. Tom, Apple's results are out. Let's get your quick take on the report. What do you make of it, Tom?
So for the June quarter, I would say it was a net positive with upside on both top and bottom line and better than expected results on the iPhone. So if there was one negative in the June quarter, it was, as you pointed out, that the revenue performance in China was weaker than expected. I do think, though, that investors are going to be hyper-focused on the September quarter outlook. If you look at the June quarter, when they gave their outlook, they did not actually give an outlook for iPhone sales. They talked about top line being up low single digits. They gave some color on services and iPads, but they didn't give specific outlook for iPhones. So with the expectation that you're going to have an upgrade cycle on AI, I really look forward to their commentary on expectations for September, especially for iPhones.
And what specific, do you think, as you say, we didn't necessarily get all of that color before. What are you expecting to get from Apple, and how do we, it's almost like the J-Pal game. Like, how do we read between the lines of what they say?
So I think the ultimate story for Apple is that there will be an upgrade cycle for iPhones, which is still the most important product, half their revenue. The question is, how quickly will that start? Because there were headlines recently suggesting that they're going to have new hardware for consumers, assumingly in September, but they may have to wait for a software update to get Apple Intelligence to work. So how quickly are they going to see this upgrade cycle for AI? And I think they'll give us enough breadcrumbs to have a sense after they report after the earnings call.
Tom, you often hear bulls say, listen, a lot of this just comes down to Apple's installed base, the number of active devices in people's hands all around the world. In fact, Apple is saying their installed base of active devices reached a new all-time high in all geographic segments. And bulls, Tom, will say, listen, there's a lot of folks out there on relatively old devices, and they're looking for a reason to upgrade. And so Tim Cook's going to come to the stage in September. He's going to show you that new iPhone, faster processor, better camera, hey, some new AI features too. And the optimistic take is there's just so many people who are looking at this point. They're sitting there with a phone that's 2, 3, 4 years old, Tom, and they're encouraged to upgrade, and they're going to have all the reason they need to upgrade. What do you say to that argument, Tom?
So here's, I guess, why I have a hold in the stock, because you're looking at a PE north of 30 times versus the big tech peers of more like 27.5. And when you compare the iPhone trends before the 5G, there was actually a lot more pent-up demand for new iPhones leveraging 5G networks than I believe there's pent-up demand for artificial intelligence. So yes, I think you have a lot of devices out there that are in need of upgrade. The other challenge is regulatory. So when you look at Europe, which is about 25% of revenue, and China, which is about 19% of revenue, it doesn't appear that they're going to be able to launch Apple Intelligence anytime soon. So I think there's pent-up demand, a lot of consumers with older devices, but I don't know that we're going to see an immediate unlock with the iPhone 16.
And you mentioned China. Of course, even though Luca Maestri did tell Josh that things in China are trending better, the number itself did miss estimates last quarter. So what do you make of that?
I think China is still something we need to monitor closely. If you remember last quarter, there were a lot of press reports suggesting that things were materially weaker in China than they actually were. So I think China's holding up reasonably well. I look for additional details on the earnings call. But, again, I think the challenge will there be a major upgrade cycle if they can't have Apple Intelligence in China?
Tom, always great to have you on the show. Thanks for that instant reaction and analysis. Appreciate it.
Thank you.